Good afternoon. I am Hannah Scanlan, your host for the P2P Live today. Now, what are the biggest challenges businesses face in retaining multi-generational talent? We are joined today by Marketing Manager Remi Marcelin to discuss the challenges of a four-generation workforce, exploring key differences in retention, management, and work preferences that employers need to be aware of heading into 2025. Also on today's show, we will cover how many UK employers offer staff support in the event of an injury, illness or disability, hot jobs across the UK, as well as new opportunities for working holidaymakers in New Zealand and Australia, and of course, our social media insights on what kind of impact salary has over misaligned company values. So let's head over to our stat of the week. Our stat this week is only 40% of employers offer staff support. Now, GRID, the industry body for group risk sector, has found that only 2 in 5 of employers offer their staff support for physical health to help them stay in or return to work, and if they're injured or have a new illness or disability. This physical support includes access to private treatment, vocational rehab, or other similar medical services. So employers who offer benefits such as group income protection will find that they are well equipped to deal with these staff in situations, which is the most cost-effective and comprehensive way to fund this. Let's take a look at the hot jobs of the week. Our first job is Publishing Contract Executive. This is based in South East London and it's paying between 31 and 38,000 per year. Alia Shiposh is managing this job. And if you want to draft, review and negotiate contracts for all divisions, provide contractual support and manage stakeholder relations, or have experience as a contracts administrator or executive, please do get in touch. We are also looking for people to register with us for temporary work. We have lots of different positions across the UK, varying from kind of a few days all the way up to 12-month contracts. So please do get in touch if you are interested in temporary work. Now let's look at our working holiday hot jobs. So the first position we have, which is in Victoria, is a legal executive assistant paying between $85,000 to $100,000 per year. We're looking for an assistant accountant in New South Wales for $40 an hour and a kit room operative in Auckland, New Zealand, paying $62,000 a year.
So we're now joined, as I said, by our marketing manager, Remi Marcelin. Hi there, Remi. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Not the greatest day in Sydney, but
the marketing man is on the other side of the camera, which is always nice to see. So we wanted to talk to you, and I think you went and did a presentation with some of the team recently up in Brisbane, but around this multi-generational or four-generation workforce. So amazingly, there's baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, Generation Z, I refuse to say Z, Generation Z. how do the retention factors differ across all of those different generations? Why do you think there's differences as well?
So I guess I wish generations were extremely different from one another, but I think at the end of the day, you really have to just look at the stage of life they're in. So typically for Gen Z, what we found is that because they are so Gen Z or Generation Z, as Kath likes to call it, Generation Z
I
is
think
all
you're allowed
about.
to say Z because that's what you would normally say.
So Gen Z, they are 15 to 29. So they are, for those who are actually in the workforce, they are very much at the beginning of their career. So for them, career opportunities and then salary will be pretty much their strongest focus. For millennials who are, I think it's 30 to 45, I guess they are a bit more established in their career. They might also be transitioning. So at this stage of their life, some of them might be considering having children. So for this reason, I think career opportunities is still a big factor, but they start looking at having, I guess, more benefits. Can I have a better work-life balance or a bit more flexibility so I can work around having kids or having a bit more of a comfortable lifestyle? For Gen X, again, I think career opportunities will be important, but it's just becoming less and less important. One of the reasons why that could be the case is first for a few Gen X, they would be, I guess, quite senior or experienced in their field, which means that when you are a CFO, you're not expecting to climb the ladder every other year. The reality is at some point you have to invest 5 to 10 years of your time in one specific role to get to the next opportunity. So for this reason, I think career opportunities start to it's still important, but it's just not the primary focus. And then management trust becomes something that really matters to them. And I guess boomers who are 60 to 78 go one step further, where it's really all about looking at your the quality of your work life. So do your managers trust you? Do they have a leadership style that actually matches the way you work? Does your work have purpose? Like, do you actually feel like you're making an impact? So those are the kind of retention levels that the baby boomers would be looking at.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. So people perhaps earlier in their career in that generation, Z, it's more that they're looking for that development. What's the next opportunity? And money is important to them because they're in those early stages. And then as it goes on, it becomes a little bit more. That's still important to people, but it's also around alignment with the leadership style and making sure that it's meaningful work and making sure that I've heard you say the word trust a number of times, which I know anecdotally is definitely something that people say to us as well when they're thinking about whether they join somewhere or whether they stay somewhere as well, is that trust piece.
Yeah.
I
think
sorry, after you.
Oh, you go for it.
I was just going to say, I think that leads nicely into the what I wanted to ask you about next, which is around work from home, expectations around remote working, even like the frequency of days people are in the office or not in the office, if there's particular days. Do you see any real differences in preferences across the different generations about that side of things?
So based on the survey, I guess just to give a bit of context to the people who are listening to us, but every year, People to People runs our annual employment and salary survey. That's answered by over 10,000 job seekers across Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. And so based on our survey, we actually broke down the data for each generation. And overall, I would say that for Gen Z, millennials, and Gen X, it's about the same. So I think it's about 15% who are looking at who are looking at no working from home at all. One day a week for like another 15%. 40% would be keen on 2 days working from home, and then the rest are just looking at a bit even more. I think the big difference that we've seen with the generations is actually for baby boomers who, while they have very similar, they are very similar in proportions when it comes to working from home 2 days a week and 1 day a week, the proportion of baby boomers who are very keen to work from the office full time is actually much higher. So one in 3 baby boomers would be keen to go to the office every day, and that's something that's actually twice more than the rest. So I think it's possibly also just being used to working from the office and seeing working from home has great advantages, obviously, but also I think for baby boomers, they probably value the advantages of working from the office a bit more.
Yeah, okay. And maybe even that clear separation between work and life as well. Whereas, one of the challenges when you work at home is that in your home is also your work, and those lines can get blurred a little bit. That's interesting. You mentioned our salary and market report, the P2P post. So I just want to, I guess, reiterate that it is a report that's very comprehensive. So if anybody's watching and would like to get access to that, you can reach out to the team. We will be releasing one come the new year, but we've definitely got the report for 2024 that's still got some really relevant information, and this sort of stuff as well, which we've really reached far and wide to get some insights on. So thank you for your work on preparing all of that, Remi, and thanks for your time today.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, last week on our social media poll, we asked, would you rather work for a company aligned with your values but with lower pay, or one misaligned to your values but offering higher pay? And a huge landslide victory for aligned with your values. 95% of you would rather work for a company that aligned with your values than have higher pay with a company that didn't. Really interesting. Next week, we're going to be asking you, with more companies beginning to mandate a full return to the office 5 days a week, would you consider looking for a new job if your employer enforced this policy? We're really keen to hear what your thoughts are on this, so please do leave us a vote and we will reveal all in next week's show. So thank you very much for joining us. I will see you same time next week.